Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is another episode of SNTR Gaming, and the main topic is going to be me talking about the weapons mastery system in New World and how it's essentially their class system. I am going to talk about why I think it's better, as well as some of my concerns. If you didn't catch the live broadcast, sometimes we use timestamps below if there's lots of different topics that we're talking about, and sometimes we open with what we call "This is an SNTR update." New World approaches classes differently than most traditional RPG or MMO fans, like what they would naturally sort of think of would be in the game. And I want to talk about what I think is better about this, how it works, and I do have concerns about the game long term. Rather than just picking a class at the beginning and spending time reading through all the various benefits of a class or a race, you just sort of jump in and start playing. This might cause some to immediately wonder if the depth will be lacking, and to a point, they would be right about there being sort of a lack of depth. The more I play this game and peel back the pages of it, the clearer it becomes they're building a game more in the mid lane and not necessarily a traditional hardcore MMO. If you like these short videos that I do about gaming news and updates, hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my uploads. First, let's talk about how it works, because some people might not realize. I'm in the game right now. You can see up in the corner, that is a picture of the weapon mastery. Basically, equipping a weapon is essentially like equipping a class. There are 3 one-handed weapons, 3 two-handed weapons, 2 ranged weapons, and then 3 magic. And whenever you find one, you can just equip it and you can start using it. And as you use it, you level it up, and then you can spend points in the skill tree. You can see, not huge there, but up in the corner, my skill tree for sword and shield and what I have been doing. Each weapon has skill tree options that open up as you unlock the weapon and spend those points. So you can see I have invested in the Sword Master skill tree for sword and shield instead of Defender. Defender's over there all gray and looking kind of sad. I'm not investing in that. I'm investing in Swordmaster. And I also started using a life staff, which you can see all the way over here, and I've started drilling down in the healing skill tree as opposed to the protector. Now, all 11 weapon types work like this. As an example, the hatchet has berserker and throwing, and if I were using the hatchet, I would be leveling up those areas of that, whichever I felt like was best. Now, I want to talk about why I think this is better. Some people don't think this is better. They would prefer a traditional class system, but I actually think this is better. This is right in line with the overarching direction of the game that I think is more accessible and more approachable as an MMORPG to players who may find traditional MMOs a little too daunting or overwhelming. This is also a great sense of freedom with this system. I could get to level 20 like I am now and just start investing in something else. I could start trying out a great axe or a fire staff just to see if I like it. And that actually, I think, maintains a sense of customization. And also, if you suddenly start using a weapon, it flows very well with familiarity as you slowly get, acclimated to the weapon itself. Connecting a sense of class and build directly to the weapons is actually a fresh take on the RPG game style. It maintains a sense of loot chase while also creating a sense of investment and building. Excuse me. Like, you're actually investing in the weapons, you're investing in your build, and I think people are going to grow to really like that sense of freedom. However, I do have my concerns. First and foremost, my concern about this is that it really limits how exciting loot is. I'm level 20, I'm consistently getting weapons that I basically can't use because I'm on sword and shield and life staff. So all of the other weapons dropping in the game, they're not really interesting to me. I do a quest and get a reward, and if it's a great axe, it's not really that exciting. This is a concern not necessarily because I think I should always be getting weapons I could use, but some people might grow tired of that and feel like they're just never really getting what they want. Second, with enough time and focus, a player could make every single weapon and just max it all the way out and then feel like all 11 are essentially done. Especially for hardcore players, this is probably something they're going to do when they get bored or when they want something extra to do, and that could really give the game a sense of completed, I'm done, there's nothing left to do. That's going to happen no matter what, but that's connected to my last point. The more committed players are the ones that are going to keep the servers going. They're going to keep whatever ongoing content and monetization structure that they come up with. The more committed players are going to be the ones that keep that going. And if they feel quote-unquote done with the weapon mastery system, how are they going to be motivated to invest or feel a sense of progression? It's so central to building your character, to looting, and having that sense of progress. It really could be a giant roadblock for many people to jump back in long term when new content comes out. As I said in my first impressions video, this is the big question mark for me for New World. What is the ongoing content structure going to look like, and how's it going to square with weapon mastery? As always, if you like these short gaming news update videos, hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss my uploads, or head over to SNTR Gaming for live streams. I'll see you in the next upload. And I'll see you right now in the audience. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. We greatly appreciate the support of the stream and all of the various things that we've been doing, and we do appreciate the people that are here every day. Feed, I see you in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, sir. We got new disc plates up behind me, and we got a full day. We got a full day of content for you. I will be on Ginger Prime's podcast in about 2 hours, and this time I'm going to give you guys a link to it instead of just going over there like a dummy. I didn't realize that they did it live, so I will give you guys a link to that when we go over there. We'll come back over here for some gameplay in New World, and then for From Friday. And then tonight, Hilly and I will be playing New World. Hopefully we don't have to do any shenanigans. I'll probably just try to get myself in a server and leave myself there. You can see us? Yes, I can see you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Melrose. Good morning, Manny. Good morning, Dan. Good to see you guys. Old Soul sipping on his Rageless Roast. Good to see it. Good to see it. Those plates are epic. You like these? I think these are good too, man. Frickin' Mandalorian and that Zelda shield is very, very good. I was just watching his controller setup tips before you went live. Yes. If you're looking for a controller guide for New World, be sure to check out the be sure to check out Ginger Prime's controller guide. What is this guy? Oh, yeah, that guy doesn't understand how to use Twitter. Yo, what's good, Oscar? Happy Friday to you. Shroud was talking about this last night, said he really liked it, and it's way more accessible than most MMOs and not overwhelming because you don't have like 40 skills you can use at once. Right, I have said this from the very beginning. I got a sense from New World, it's one of the reasons I was actually willing to jump in. I feel like they're making a game for the mid lane player, right? That's what I think is happening. They are making an MMO for the mid lane. They're not making an MMO for traditional MMO fans and hardcore MMO fans. They're going to drift back to Final Fantasy. They're going to drift back to, you know, Black Desert Online or something like that. Maybe not BDO, maybe, but I know Final Fantasy, that's going to pull people back, okay? So, for me, I actually think that's one of the reasons I was willing to jump in. I don't think I would have been able to do an MMO that is more traditional. Now, I'm obviously cutting my teeth on New World, which means there could come a time where I feel like, yeah, you know what? Let's check out another MMO. Let's slice up another one. You know, there certainly could be room for that in the future. This could whet our appetite. But that's one of the main reasons I was willing to do this, because I think that's sort of where I shine. I can slice up a game, I can break a game systems down, but I also think I do a better job taking up for the mid lane, right? Taking up for a player that's a little bit more casual, right? I'm a longtime WoW player, and I don't really care for New World. That's honestly not surprising. It really is not surprising. I think that if a long-time more traditional is the phrasing I try to use. If you're a more traditional MMO fan, okay, I think that you're going to find New World to be just a little thin and a little bland. Like, it just isn't going to do enough for you, right? I love that there's no classes or professions. I can do all of it if I want, and I do. Right, that sense of freedom, that sense of customization, that sense of, who knows, in 3 weeks I might change my entire build and start using a hammer and an ice, what's the one called? Ice Fist or whatever. Like, you can completely change it up. Now, ordinarily, what you would do in an MMO or an RPG, if you wanted to suddenly change things up, you would just make a brand new character. You'd be like, well, I guess it's time to make a fire mage, or I guess it's time to make a dark elf, and you'd be essentially starting all of the way over. Vinny and I had a talk about this topic last night in the Discord. When Amazon eventually changes the meta, the system might make shifting to a new build less painful. Right, it'll be less painful. What if they introduce new weapons? What if they introduce new weapon masteries? You get to just jump in and take your character and start trying them out. Start leveling them, start working on them, start trying different builds instead of being like, well, they just introduced a new character, you know, and then everybody's running around with that new character. Instead of, in this, sure, if you introduce 3 or 4 new weapon types, people would be running around with them, but at the very least, you would have that sense of like, well, I already have a character, I don't have to start over. I'm enjoying it so far. 10 years playing EverQuest. EQ2, that's what you mean, right? EverQuest. I don't think that a traditional MMO fan is going to automatically dislike New World. I think they're going to have a propensity to say, this is a little too thin, there's not enough here, right? I was hesitant to try out New World, says Christina. I started playing last night. I love that it's not a traditional MMO because I wasn't a huge fan of the combat style of them. That's another area that I believe that they've made the game more accessible. The combat. Now, it is a little clunky. It doesn't quite feel like an action-adventure game. It's there, okay? It's there, but it's not quite an action-adventure game. And I think that that's okay. I think that that's fine. I don't think you necessarily have to, you know, mimic it exactly right. I think you could easily say, no, we are going to have, you know, an infused sort of influence of it's gonna feel sort of like, you know, an action adventure game, but it's not necessarily going to appeal to people that are looking for just action adventure. Like, if you just want action adventure, you're gonna find the combat to be a little clunky, you know. Longtime World of Warcraft player. I love New World, but I'm a dad now, so I'm forced casual. See, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Like, that's something that I think is happening. This is why I think targeting more mid-lane, more casual players is a really, really smart move. And let me explain why I think that. A lot of the gamers of today are in their late 20s, early 30s, and they cut their teeth on EverQuest and World of Warcraft, you know, and now they don't have that time, okay? I don't play like I used to. I don't play like I used to. I don't have time. I'm a streamer and I don't have time. You know what I'm saying? So I think more and more people now are playing like that. They do log their hours. They do put in their time every day. But they're not putting in 8-hour shifts in an MMO. It's like, they don't have time for that. They're putting in an 8-hour shift at the warehouse. Like, they got a job. They got bills, you know. They got kids. So I'm not saying that that's the majority, but I think a lot of players have downshifted out of that reality. Like, you just can't play that much anymore. And that's going to cause you to feel that sense of, this game is going to just, I don't have time. What's good, John Hall? I don't have time for this. Oh, how am I going to get leveled? How am I going to get anything done? You know? You guys are submitting questions, so let me pull some of these questions up here. I know Victor just submitted one, and before Victor submitted one, the I don't know how to say this name. A pissed bin. I'm worried that that's like I'm like saying something that might sound like something else. Can you show the full design of your shirt? Oh, yeah. It's just Silver Surfer. There you go. It's a Silver Surfer. There you go. Victor, your question got through. I don't know why it said what it said. Your question got through. Victor says, based on the announcement from Amazon regarding queue times and servers, should the community be jumping into an available server and then move to Eden when we can? Yes, Victor. I'm going to be honest with you. If you can't get in and get work done, like you guys have, your normal day-to-day life, okay? I can sit here and throw myself into a queue and play when it's convenient. The average person can't friggin' do that. You can't be like, well, I'll throw myself in queue, and if it takes 2 hours to get in, that's okay. No, you're going to be like, no, I need to be able to play right now. So yeah, if you're unable to play, it's kind of pointless to just keep trying to get into Eden. I got in really quick this morning. So if you're playing in the early morning Eastern time, you're probably fine. However, if you're playing afternoon and evening, I came down last night after putting my kids to bed thinking I'm going to go get some screenshots for my thumbnails. There's a 2,000 player queue on Eden. What? Excuse me? Like, I thought this was going to settle down. No, it's not. So, and the problem is people are figuring out ways to keep themselves from being kicked, so they just get to hold a position on the server all day. They're pushing for server migration features next week. Right. Now, here's the thing. The dynamic spin-up should be in a better place later today. I thought you said that yesterday, though. Where are you getting the information about the dynamic spin-up? Where are they tweeting about that? I think, excuse me, I didn't get in at all yesterday. I got an error and put back to 700 or something, made a character on a light server. Yeah, if you've got time to play, you're way better off just putting in the grind on another server, right? How many hours before the stream shall I try to log in? Yeah, tonight's going to be a big question mark, Hilly. I would try to get in about 3 hours early. I would. And I'll DM you. I'm not going to sit here and give away my tricks, but there's some tricks. There's things you can do. To kind of like hold your place. And I'm not going to encourage people to do that because I don't think it's good for the servers. But when we're trying to stream, two of us need to get in, and we need to get a position in the server, or we're going to be screwed. We're not going to have a show. You know what I'm saying? Never log out. Well, no, it'll kick you for AFK. It looks like they just auto run into a wall. That doesn't work though. No, auto running into a wall does not work. No. But again, I'm not going to encourage people to try to figure out ways around AFK. I'm not, because the challenge there is that if you keep encouraging people to do that, then someone's going to go and take a 3 or 4 hour break to get lunch or dinner or something, and they're not going to give up their spot. And we need people to do that, right? Are you planning on moving servers? No. We'll be glad. We will be glad that we haven't changed servers. I think we'll be glad of it in a while. It'll settle down. It'll settle down. People have been doing that from the start of time. Yeah. Most MMOs are okay with minor level macros. Right. Again, I'm not going to encourage people to do it because I think this is going to perpetuate the problem of, man, I can't get in the server. It doesn't help when there's 300 people macroing and doing other things to not get kicked. It's like, if those 300 people would get the frick out, then other people could get in. But I get it. You've got to get in and kind of protect your space. Especially when you're trying to like stream like we are tonight. I wasn't able to play much last night, but so far of New World I've really enjoyed. Yeah. It's really good. It's really, really fun. The beginning is actually, I think, the most surprising. You're like, wow, this is actually a pretty good little, Pretty good little game. I hope this game can have a home on SNTR Gaming. This game will have a home on SNTR Gaming as long as a handful of things are in place. If I'm having fun and enjoying my doing breakdowns like I did this morning of like, I argue that the weapon mastery system is better than a class system. Nobody's really debating me on that, so we're not having a lively debate, but that's okay. That's okay. I want to be able to slice up the game, and for the time being, I'm able to do that, okay? The second thing we need is we obviously need it to be supported, not just by you guys, but by, like, the YouTube audience. Is the YouTube audience going to get behind this game, support it, watch videos, show up, join companies, join Discords, and all of that? If the organic communal side isn't there, it's going to be really tough to spend lengthy amounts of time in the game. And that's the unknown right now, okay? It seems like we're meeting new people, and they're coming in, and they're wanting to join the company. They're becoming paying members of the channel. They're getting in the Discord. Like, it seems like the beginnings of that are happening. Our biggest challenge on YouTube is that this is Amazon property, and they're going to give love to that other platform, which I need to do a 2-minute video and just put it on Twitter to tell people why their recommendation thing you can pay for is just a literal scam. It is an absolute scam. That we'll save that for another day. Myself and a friend had to switch servers and start fresh. I just couldn't join him yesterday. Wouldn't even let me join the queue. Oh, it takes a second, John. You hit join and it just sits there. It takes a second for the queue to pop up. Yeah. If this goes to console, I think it would be much bigger. That's the other aspect of it, Victor, is, you know, how many people are coming to YouTube and being like, it's a freaking PC game, man. You know? It's a PC game, bruh. And I you know, they can't play. They would probably like to, but they can't play. So my hope would be that they pull a Black Desert Online, you know, invest in the game, give it a solid year of support and new content structure on PC, and then kick it over to console, good controller support, make sure it's cross play so we can all play together, you know. That is needed. That is needed, I think, for this game to truly get into a spot where, you know, we could really, you know, there was a war declared at Brightwood. There's going to be a battle on Saturday, it just said. I'd be all over a console version. Oh, I mean, I wish if it was on console and had cross save, I mean, I'd be booting it up in the living room in the evenings and just kind of grinding and getting some stuff done, you know. That'd be really, really enjoyable, you know. Porting to consoles takes years. I don't know if it takes years. I mean, I know it would take time, but you know, they could always be. They say they don't have plans, but come on, you know, with the concurrent players right now that they're pulling in, they're doing all right. Are all weapons dynamic enough and unique enough to want to try them all out? Well, yes, because when you switch to a certain weapon type, right? When you switch to a certain weapon type, it has an entire skill tree underneath of it that really is going to give it its own feel, especially once you start getting some of the abilities. So yes, I think so. I think that it does have there's enough uniqueness, I think, in the weapons that you're going to want to try them all out. I can't wait until they fix the frames. 60 FPS is not doing this game justice. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think this is a 60 FPS game because of the, you know, the size of the world, how many people are running around. I don't know about that one, Christina. With the number of players, the number of, you know, enemies in an area, the draw distance, like the fog and the lighting and there's so much foliage. It's so lush. I don't know. I really don't know if you're going to ever have a game like this running at a 120. I just don't know. It's not like when you boot up a very controlled environment like God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn. Do you know what I mean? There's so much more going on that your computer has to work on that doesn't let it run a smooth, 120. I thought they had to cap it because the frame rate was going crazy and breaking GPUs. Oh, I mean, a lot of people are capping at 60, yes, because there are some GPUs that have like an inherent flaw in them, and they're overheating. It's not New World that's causing it. Master Chief Collection was frying the cards as well. The cards are supposed to protect themselves from that. Like, you can, if you know what you're doing, take a video card to its breaking point. You can take it right to the edge, and then it's just like, too hot, and it shuts off, right? And so the game is not breaking GPUs. GPUs are breaking themselves. You know what I mean? Stream room looks amazing. Great job. Love the lighting, the artwork, wall design. It all comes together really nice. Well done. Oh, thank you. Oh, we're supposed to be in this scene. Yeah, we're supposed to be in this scene. It's got all of our information up there. Oh, there's a disc plate in the corner that you can kind of see on the ground over there. I guess I'll have to move that. We could probably we'll just cheat a little bit. We'll just do that. There we go. Let's do just a slight little drag there. Get that out of the frame. Yeah, the room really came together very, very nicely. My wife and I spent a lot of time on it. It was a task. You know what I mean? I wasn't sure. Glad I asked. Y'all know way more than about the game thus far. Here's my thought on the 60 frames per second though thing, Christina. I would just leave it. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong here. Somebody could correct me. I don't think this game's going to run consistent 120, so why bother? Just leave it at 60 and you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm looking at the size of this game and the scope and just how far you can see and how good everything looks, and I'm like, I don't know if this game's could run a solid 120. And if it can't run a solid 120, I would just leave it at 60. That's my personal preference. The 30 series GPUs have a memory temp flaw. The GDDRX chips on 3090s easily reach 90 Celsius. Jiminy Christmas. Yeah, I still got to take my other streaming rig in and have somebody replace the water coolant system on it. Just because it's still, I'm checking the temps on it every once in a while. It just sits there and it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything, and periodically it gets up there. Happy Friday. Oh, it's October the 1st. Yeah, it's a whole new month. It's a whole new month. That rug really tied the room together. The rug tied the room together. If you guys are new and tuning in and you found this video today in your suggested or search terms, we are talking about New World. I outlined at the very beginning of the stream why I think the weapon mastery system is better. Basically, New World classes are just weapons. That's essentially how they have built the game. I think it's better. I do have my concerns about that long term. Even in the short term, I have my concerns about that. But I do think it is a good system. No Man's Sky just got a 6 gig update. Goodness gracious, what are they doing? What's good, Demetrius? We do have a server, we do have a faction that we've chosen, and we do have a company. We do acknowledge that the North American East server Eden is it's crazy. We acknowledge it's really hard to get in. So what a lot of people are doing is they are going into another server and starting a character. Because if you've got time to grind right now, get in a server, get to grinding, and then you can move your character later. A lot of people are doing that. So if you're looking for a community to hang out with, we have a Discord. We stream here every day. I am a Safe for Work broadcaster, so be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button if you're enjoying the show. It just fixes. That's a pretty big patch for fixes. You know what I mean? Thought maybe you'd be playing during the talk today. I might. I didn't want to disrupt the morning show too much. Because we have time to play today. I am logged in to hold my spot. I'm going to be on Ginger Prime's podcast in about an hour and a half. He's going to have to get me those details. I don't know. I can't even remember what we did last time. I think he had me use some site where like I logged in, and I think that was it. I don't think we used Discord or anything like that. Soliloquy says, let's get those 200 likes. Let's get 200 likes. Yeah, let's do it. Will you be streaming the podcast? No, they're streaming the podcast. I wouldn't stream another person's podcast. He's streaming it. Hang on a second. Creature says, I gave them to you in stream holding. Oh. I didn't see that you had mentioned me in there. Okay, yep, we got the link. Click me at 10:50. Okay, yeah, so in about an hour and 20 minutes or so, we'll be heading over there. I'll give you guys a link of where we're heading whenever it's time to go over there. What's the podcast about? All about New World. I think they're going to do a show like every Friday in that time frame. I've done a show. I've done one show with them already about New World. I think it was after I played the beta. We went over there and did a show with him. It was good. It was enjoyable. And we've got a lot of content planned today with respect to New World. We're right now. He says we're fine to co-stream. He'll send people back to us after the fact. I can't co-stream. That's not gonna work. Because my camera and microphone, my camera especially, I don't think the browser could use it while OBS is using it. It wouldn't be possible. He wouldn't be able to see me. Got a little booze in that drink? No. Oh my gosh. I have never done that in my life. I've never woken up and been like, oh, I got a little hair of the dog. I can't. No way. I can throw down pretty well with the rest of them late in the evening, but in the morning, oh my gosh, no. I watch these shows and they're like getting to the office and like, cracking open a bottle of scotch or whiskey and something else, and I'm like, oh my word, missing out? I don't think I am. If you guys are just tuning in, I want to know what you guys think, actually. Let's create a poll. New World, weapon mastery or classes? Which would you prefer? The weapon mastery system or classes? Weapon mastery, and then go down here to classes. I am curious what people think, because I actually prefer the weapon mastery to classes. I do. Do you want to know why? Most of the times I've played MMOs, I spend a disproportionate amount of time creating my character and looking at all of the stats and looking at all of the classes and looking at all of the differences between the classes. And it's so overwhelming. You end up feeling like you're going to pick wrong, right? Or in some games, you feel like the differences don't even end up mattering. It's like it doesn't even matter. You just end up building or speccing into whatever you feel like. East Coast Overlord says, morning, Lono. Due to work, I've been getting home at 9, so I go to sleep immediately and wake up at 3 so I can play. Queue times are pretty non-existent. Well, there you go. Thank you for the $5 tip, sir. I appreciate that. Bailey's on my cereal? Oh, gosh. No. One class in BDO. Have a variety of 5 different weapons for New World. What? I'm not understanding what you're saying. I prefer old school classes. I like leveling alts with different professions and life skills. That's one of the reasons I think some people are going to really, really like New World is they're going to say, look, I don't have to drill down and commit. I can just try stuff out. And I can find out that I really like this. I really like spears. Or I really like, this staff over here. Oh, and now I'm going to do, some smithing and some smelting or whatever. You don't have to be like, oh, well, I'm a dwarf. I can't do that. Or I'm not going to be as good at that. You know what I mean? Don't like ESO or New World approach of weapon. Oh, you don't like ESO and New World's approach of weapon skills. I don't know. I found out I really don't like Warhammers. Right, and what if you picked a class that was supposed to be really, really good with Warhammers, and you thought they sounded dope, and your friend told you they were dope, and you get a couple hours into the game and you're like, I don't like Warhammers. Well, I guess you got to pick a different class. Like you'd feel stuck. Now I know it's not that stringent. But there's something nice about being like, just put the Warhammer down and grab something else. Chat and Lono obviously don't live their lives a quarter mile at a time. I am not understanding the joke or the reference. You don't like classes, says Jaggy. Warhammer's not good, says no. Warhammers are actually pretty dope, Hilly. Christina was just saying she doesn't like them. No. The Warhammers, a lot of people like them. Yeah. What's the two disc plates behind you? You can't see what those are? That one's The Legend of Zelda, the shield, and then that's Mandalorian. Running sword, broadsword, and Warhammer for tanking. Yeah. I don't like Warhammer normal attack reach. Its attack reach is like a dagger. Huh. Yeah, there's nothing to be worried about, Hilly. I think most of the weapons are... from what I can tell, most of the weapons are viable. It's just too slow. Yeah, Warhammer is my favorite as well as the rapier. Yeah, I just like having a shield. I don't know. I just like having a shield. Never seen Fast and the Furious? Oh gosh, no. Those are not my those are not my movies, dude. I know there are tons of memes surrounding those movies and people like that. They have like a cult following. I'm not a car guy. I think you have to be a car guy to even want to attempt to watch Fast and the Furious. You know what I mean? Torture says, I work mornings in a liquor store. I have people who wait first thing in the morning for the store to open, buy beer or liquor shot bottles, and down right then and there. Jeepers. Freaking creepers. You like having a shield? I haven't played New World, but in watching you, I've never seen you use the shield to block an attack. You're probably just not catching it. It's really, really fast. So when I was fighting those tigers yesterday, I would kind of dodge, and then there were times where I knew they were going to come, and I'd pull the shield up. So I definitely use it. I just use it sparingly because you can't just constantly use it. I kind of switch between blocking and dodging. Lono kicked back with a six-pack of tall boys watching Fast and the Furious. I'd pay for this. Oh no. I don't know. I hate cars, but I love the fast movies. You did not need to be a car guy to watch the first one. You were in high school. The guys I ran with in high school, we didn't watch movies like that. We watched Guy Ritchie movies. We watched Kung Fu movies. We watched, I don't know. We didn't watch those kind of movies. We didn't like Vin Diesel. My group of friends didn't like him that much. We didn't think he was a very good actor. And he's not the greatest actor. He's not. I don't get the cult following around him. He seems like a super nice guy, but I'm like, I don't know. That's not the kind of stuff we watched back then. Christina renewing the membership for 6 months. She says more joystick. That's right. Being able to respec for free removes all important decision making from the game. Having to make decision causes for a more rewarding experience when you fill a role and only your character can fill. But you can't just respec, homie. That's not how it works. I can't just respec all of my points from Sword and Shield and slam them all into a Warhammer. I can't do that. Nope. You have to use that weapon a bunch. So if I wanted a Warhammer to be at the level, like right now, my Sword and Shield is at an 8. And I was using my life staff for probably an hour to 2 hours yesterday, and it's only at a level 5. Like, it took a while. It took a while to get it. Oh, you're saying that's a good thing. Okay. No, I've not done any respecking, Old Soul. Respecking your character points is only free under level 20. That's right. I will say this. Savage Sharkbite coming in with 2 months. 2 months, let's go. The double dip. You guys that are double dipping your memberships, if you've got memberships on SNTR Presents and over here on SNTR Gaming, we greatly appreciate that. If you enjoy my content and you want to support it, that is a great way to support us. We'd love to see the memberships continue to go up. Be sure to click the join button or use the join command. $5 a month gets you more access in our Discord, a badge, emotes, and it does support me directly. Don't forget to use all the commands down in the corner. The shirt I'm wearing comes from the Marvel collection at 80s Tees. Also, the displates in the background, you can use the displate command, or you can use the displate link in the description. That is how you get the discount, and that is how it supports me directly. What is this? Stolen Realm. Turn-based strategy meets action RPG with 6-player co-op. It releases into early access on October the 14th. It combines turn-based strategy with action RPG elements. It's a dungeon-crawling looter. You can play alone or with up to friends online for co-op. I don't know. I have to take a look at it. I see turn-based and immediately recoil, right? 9 months at a tier 2, my man Hilly. We showing off membership. Hold my beer. There you go. Yeah, we liked Gone in 60 Seconds, but that was because we liked Nick Cage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mando displates king. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Looks good. Is it worth getting the framed displates rather than the non-framed ones? I don't think you need the frame. I think they look really, really nice on the wall without a frame. Guy Ritchie, who watches that clown? You don't like Guy Ritchie movies? That's a you problem, son. Like, and I don't call people son very often, but calling Guy Ritchie a clown? Like, really? What? I just said 5 years for another channel. I subbed to at the same time. So disappointed. Yeah, well. I love turn-based combat. I play D&D. I don't like turn-based stuff. You're old enough to? What, have a stupid opinion? You're old enough to have a stupid opinion? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch are fantastic movies. Great casts. You know what I mean? I'm old enough to be your father. Wait a minute. Wait a minute for what? For you to type that slowly? What? Did you break out of the nursing home? What's going on right now? Have you seen The Gentleman? No, I need to watch that one. That's the one with that's the one with his name just jumped out of my head. All right. It'd be a lot cooler if you did. It's got him in it. I can't think of his dadgum name. My brain. What's happening? Hugh Grant? No. Matthew McConaughey. Thank you, Hilly. Hilly just gave me the first name so that I could feel some sense of pride. The truth is, the reason none of you are typing Matthew McConaughey is none of you know how to spell it. I mean, that's the truth. That's what's actually happening. Oh, Hugh Grant's in it too. Oh, I thought you were messing with me. Oh, I like Colin Farrell. Yeah. Guy Ritchie did one that I wasn't a huge fan of. What was it? What was it? It was something with a gambling reference was the title of the movie. I can't remember what it was. He did one that I didn't think was that great. Busted, my spelling was ridiculous. Rock and Rolla. Yeah, I think it might have been Rock and Rolla. I think I liked Revolver, or was it Smokin' Aces? Man, I can't remember now, because he's got Revolver, he's got Rock and Rolla, he's got Smokin' Aces, and one of those, I can't remember now which one. I didn't like it. I was like, this is not very good. Avengers is on Game Pass, installing it now. I don't think I saw Smokin' Aces. I think I'm behind on my Guy Ritchie movies. I think it might have been Revolver that I didn't like. Or might have been Rock and Rolla. It was either Rock and Rolla or Revolver. One of those I didn't like. I thought I don't know. I don't think I've seen Smokin' Aces, because I think that was the one that came out, and I was just not in a position to see movies. It was like I was just too busy. Just never had time for them. Is Avengers any good? It's better than it was when it launched, but you know what I mean? We got a couple more questions rolling in from the audience. East Coast Overlord says, do you see yourself trying other weapon types out, or are you planning on sticking with what you have? I mean, I'm happy to stick with what I have for now. I don't see a really big reason to change anytime soon. Revolver was about gambling. That's the one you're talking about. I think that was the one that I just didn't like. I need to reset the question queue. Let me answer ADJC's question, and then you can submit yours, East Coast. What I like about classes is that you work into growing your class. Weapon Mastery is... in Vindictus, which is a PC game MMO, was the same way. All right, let me reset the question queue. There we go. You guys can now submit again. I hadn't cleared it in a while. I went drinking with Colin Farrell in Vietnam many years ago. Oh, man, that was probably a wild night. Guy Ritchie's best movie is Aladdin. I don't think so. It's the one where Jason Statham has hair. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, Boondock Saints. Yeah, Boondock Saints is pretty good. But you know what my problem with Boondock Saints is? They swear like it's like they're supposed to. I don't know. They swear like they're supposed to. It's too much. It's too much. I don't know. Okay. Where is he? Tweeted about it. There we go. Retweet that. There we go. Classes are great until they get nerfed. Weapon gets nerfed, you just get another weapon. Well, it's not that simple, though, in New World. You can't just get another weapon. You're going to have to frickin' grind your face off before it's going to be worth using. You know? East Coast Overlord says, alpha testers hinted at crossbows coming out. Do you see New World coming out with more weapons or more weapon trees? Well, let me run something by you here. All right, let me run a theory by you guys. Okay? I don't have Photoshop. But if I did, I bet you I could fit 2 more rectangles, 2 more weapons underneath one-handed, and 2 more under two-handed, right? Because you got to think, one-handed weapons, they could add a mace, they could add, I'm trying to think, one-handed axe. You know, you could have a one-handed axe, you could have a one-handed mace. Boom. Two-handed weapons. You could do a broadsword. You could do, daggers, flails. That's right. Range weapons. There's room for 3. You could do a crossbow. You could do a pistol. You could do... You're going to run out of range weapons pretty fast, right? A battle rifle or a bazooka. And then magic, I mean, who the frick cares? Just add an ice staff. You could add a, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, the sky's the limit there, you know. Yeah, blunderbuss. Yeah. To me, the weapon mastery page looks incomplete, right? Yeah, slingshot. A trebuchet. Just like dragging it behind you. Come on, man! Why'd you invite the trebuchet guy? Listen, dude, you're gonna be really glad. It's gonna take him a day. It's gonna take him a day to get there, but you're gonna be so glad he's on our team. He'll take out a lot of them. He's really, really good with this thing. And then you'd have like the catapult guys and the trebuchet guys, like they don't get along, you know. We had 69 on the poll. Not anymore. If you guys are new, take our poll. Do you prefer weapon mastery or classes? They don't do a class system in New World. You know? A pocket trebuchet, that's it. This is not Age of Empires, Lono. Well, it could be. It could be. You know, not with that attitude. Necromancy tome. Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that's going to be one of the first things they do. They'll expand into new areas and they'll add new weapon types so that you can start to do more weapon mastery. Because what are you going to do when you've maxed out and bought and I've done that before. What are you going to do when you max out and purchase everything from your faction where you've got every weapon completely maxed out and leveled up? What are you going to do? You're going to feel done, right? You're going to feel done. You're going to be like, well, you know, I got everything maxed out, you know. Seinfeld's finally on Netflix. That's right, it is. The first season's kind of rough. We need 40 more likes for 200 likes. Let's get those likes up. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, consider hitting subscribe and the bell button if you like my content. We do a talk show in the mornings and gameplay in the afternoons. Our coverage of New World is just one of the many games that we plan on covering. We also have other channels if you prefer shorter uploads, if you prefer just gameplay, all those things. We greatly appreciate you guys supporting us and everything that we're doing. The Void Gauntlet has been data mined and concept art shown, so it's coming. Okay, so yeah, they're clearly adding more weapons. Yes. I've never watched a single episode of Seinfeld. It was always on when I was gigging. So here's what's going to happen. A bunch of people that have never watched Seinfeld are going to watch it and be like, this show is stupid, okay? You got to get through the first season. It takes a minute. Season 2, it starts to ramp up, and from that point on, it's excellent. They get to a point where every episode is on. Every episode is just on point, you know? And you want the Zelda displate for The Office? Guys, just make sure anytime you do displate, you use my link, okay? You don't have to order the displates on my page. Like, it literally says at the top of my page. At least it should. Let me make sure it still says that. It should say, you can order any display with my discount. Like, it should. The first season's only like 5 episodes. Yeah, you gotta get through. You gotta get through. Order any displate on this site with my affiliate discount. That's right. Yeah, there you go. And the Zelda Shield is one of my recommends. You can see it right when you get there. But you don't have to order from the recommends. So. And I want to say congratulations to Scarlett Johansson getting to basically announce that she's going to continue working with Disney. You talk about a tough lady. She sued Disney. And she's still going to get to work with them. Like, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. I saw that and I was like, good for her. Get 'em. That's right. She fought the mouse and won. I thought for sure they were just going to pay her to shut up and then she'd go away and not be in any more movies. You know what I'm saying? That was a big victory, man. That was a big victory. I was really happy for her. I was like, good for you. Good for you. You think she'll actually continue to work with them, or was that just PR talk? Homie. If you can get that bag and keep working with Disney, I gotta think. I gotta think you'd keep working with Disney. That's a lot of money, bro. That is, yeah, I would think so. You think anyone else is paying her that much? Yeah, she's not gonna get that pull anywhere else. No way. No way. So, you guys can use the question command or the highlight command to submit your questions. I'm not putting them up on the screen. We're going to have to come up with a way to do that when I'm in the game, right? When I'm in the game. Because I want to bring your questions up. I'll have to build the scene and do it differently than we did in the past, so we can still pull your questions up and display them. I thought Disney already pulled her out of future projects. No. I think that was probably assumed that she'd be done because she was suing them. So I'd like to see her do more movies like Under the Skin. Oh, I'm sure lots of people would like that. I don't think she's going to. I think she's going to avoid that kind of work going forward. I don't know. It depends on the person. But it seems like, yes, that will be from Friday today. It seems like the pattern is most actresses do that like once or twice, and then they're kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do that again. I'd like to keep the clothes on. It happened in Game of Thrones. It's happened with a lot of different actors. It's once they're more well known and more respected, they're kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm good. I don't enjoy doing that. They've talked about how Keira Knightley talked about that on Graham Norton, how awkward it is to do scenes like that. It's like, it's just odd. It's an odd thing. Her character is dead, though. I'm not sure how else they're using her. Well, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for Spider-Man. Yeah, they can kind of do whatever they want, bro. Lost in Translation is still her best film. I really like that film. Yeah. She's really, really cute and so young and adorable in that, Now she's like a friggin' bombshell. It's like she doesn't look the same to me now. She's like a woman now. Back then, she was like young and cute, And Bill Murray, come on. Bill Murray. Getting acting with Bill Murray is awesome. She's in the upcoming Tower of Terror movie? Really? Yeah, nobody stays dead in the comic books, man. Nobody. What I hate about the whole situation is they can pull a switcheroo on her and try to get away with it. What are they going to do to normal people? That's right. Well, they were going to underpay a lot of those actors, and Robert Downey Jr. was like, I'm not signing unless you give these people adequate increase in pay, because he knew what was coming, right? He knew. He's a smart guy. He knew what was going to happen. He knew these movies were going to just grow at a degree where these young actors needed to be paid, You like Bill, but you hated Groundhog Day? Oh, it's such a fun movie. That's part of the reason I'm checking out. They gave themselves a blank check to do whatever they want, and so nothing matters without consequences. Are you talking about Disney? Disney did that? This is the way of the mouse. Yeah, it's true. It's true. If you've been following Marvel shows, you know that the multiverse is now open. due to this thing happening and this thing. Sorry for spoilers. Yeah, just in case, I'm going to go ahead and just remove... I'm just going to remove your comment, Christopher Wright. I know it's probably been long enough to say what you said, so I'm not irritated. You're probably safe to say what you said. But I've never been a fan of, like, just putting, like, flat out just plot point character deaths in chat. That just makes me feel weird. There's always those busy moms and dads that haven't seen it yet, you know? So, you're fine. My limit was usually a month, right? Oh, they gave themselves a blank check to do whatever they want. I understand. You're talking about with, like, the multiverse and stuff. MCU, nothing matters. Yeah. I'm not as, I don't really care. I don't really care, man. Just give me more. I'm a man of simple tastes, you know. You give me more Marvel and I'm happy. You know. You give me more Star Wars and yeah, we'll see. You know, you give me more Mando. If you give me more Mando style Star Wars, more Rogue One, I'm good. You give me more Marvel in the vein that they've been making, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I haven't got a chance to watch the What If series yet. No, my wife and I have been... I got in a gaming mood. I want to play games. I want to play video games or board games in the evening with my wife instead of watching. We were watching Lost, and like suddenly I just got like a hankering to play games in the evenings. And we played the snot out of Overcooked 2. We did literally everything. You know what I mean? If it's not with a reboot, they do what they want with a reboot anyway. That's right. They would just reboot it all anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's my point. That's my point. Just give me more. I don't care how you get there. Because I would rather them create unique plot points that let them create new story arcs, new character arcs and everything, instead of recasting the characters in 5 years. What the frick would that? That would be awful. Generally speaking, I hate time travel, resurrection, and multi-dimension story devices. So you hate Back to the Future, Jesus Christ, and Marvel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was too easy. You can't just throw in that resurrection, especially after 3 days. Oh my gosh. Back to the Future, this guy Jesus, and you frickin' Marvel. It's like, settle down, buddy. Settle down. It's okay. Oh man, the way he just rattled them off in a list. I hate time travel, resurrection, and multi-dimensional realities. Oh man, I'm sorry. That was good. That was pretty funny. Back to the Future is different. That is a story. I'm giving you crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you crap. You don't want to start? Oh no. I'm not starting that one. Because I've got my own heavyweight, ideas there. We're not going there. I'm not a lightweight in that realm. It wouldn't fit the show. It wouldn't fit the show for us to go there. Yeah, like I said, I'm a man of simple taste. You give me more, I'm happy. I'll watch more Spider-Man. I'll watch every freaking Marvel show they put out, whether it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier or WandaVision. I'm happy. I'm like, this is great. Like, I'm very happy, right? Now, I will say this. Once the casting starts to shift away from the people that I really love, it'll be a little different, right? It'll be a little different, right? Because it's one thing right now, like, Elizabeth Olsen. Woo! Like, it's easy to like her. And then the guys they cast for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I love both of those guys. They're so enjoyable to watch. I think they have great chemistry. We get away from that cast, and it will be different. So, like, if they've got Tom Holland locked in for a while, that's a win, because I think you really need him. I think he's the new RDJ. No, I've not seen Shang-Chi. I'm gonna have to wait until that's streamable. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to wait until it's streamable. So, if you're just tuning in, we talk about a variety of different things here. I'd love to see 200 likes on the video. I do want to hear from you if you've been playing New World, or you're a member of the New World community. What do you think of the weapon mastery system versus a class system? That's what we're discussing this morning. I actually said that I think the weapon mastery system is better than a class system. I like it, but I do have my concerns about it long term. We'd love to meet you. If you're new, hit subscribe so you can talk and chat. We do a talk show every morning, Monday through Friday, and then we do a gameplay in the afternoons. In about 40 minutes, I'll be jumping on a podcast with Ginger Prime. We will give you guys a link to that. That is going to be almost exclusively about New World. We'll then come back over here and have another stream of me playing New World gameplay, and then from Friday. We will also be playing New World this evening with me and Hilly. We will be doing fishing in New World. I started Midnight Mass Logic. It's got a lot of those. People from The Haunting on Hill House or whatever. It's got a lot of those actors, and I like those people. I really, really do. I really like the girl, and I like the guy that got playing the sheriff. I started that after watching Squid Game, which Squid Game is excellent. So check that out if you have Netflix. I think Squid Game is super, super dope. I'm angry at myself that I watched it the overdub. I didn't realize I could watch it in Korean with the subtitles. I would have preferred that. Have you seen Devil All the Time yet? No. I want to see that. I heard it's good. Hill House is better than Bly Manor. They were very different. Yeah, they were very different. I really liked Hill House. I thought Bly Manor was great, and then it just kept going. I was like, this is such a... I did not expect it to be a love story at the end. And I got really invested, and then I was kind of sad at the end. I didn't like feeling sad at the end. What does gear score mean? In New World, I'm fairly certain that your gear score, I think, just refers to the raw score of the weapon, right? Or the item. So a gear score of 285 on my sword right now, I believe is it's the damage and all those other things. Is it all those other things added up? What? Yeah, I think it is. I think it might be. No. Yeah, what's the gear score based off? It's basically item level? I guess. I'm actually interested to see, what does that do? Because right down here, my gear score is 250. Your overall power level derived from your equipped items, attributes, and then down here is your strength, and then my physical damage resistance and my elemental damage resistance. So that's that. Your gear score is your overall level derived from your equipped items, and the equipped items just have a gear score determined by where you get them in the game. So obviously, this equipped sword is a level requirement 16, so it's a 284. So if I could get a level 20 sword, it would probably have higher gear score, higher damage, higher everything. Yeah. Gear score is item level, probably based on what quest you can do. Right. Yeah. So, and then it's the same on the armor. Yeah. So I like it. I think the systems are pretty approachable. You know what I mean? I think they're pretty approachable. I really enjoyed Squid Game. It reached #1 show on Netflix. I love that. We're really good friends with a Korean family, and so it's just cool to see something that unique and creative, and all, almost an all Korean cast, and everything, 95% of it is spoken in Korean if you don't watch the dub, because some of the characters near the end speak English. No spoilers or anything, but there are some characters that didn't need a dub. Lono avoiding my hot takes about the class system. Where'd you say it? I didn't see it. Earlier I said the weapon mastery system allows for too much flexibility and removes any sense of build or class identity from the game. Well, I would say there's some truth to what you're saying, and I think that that's okay. I said this at the beginning of my talk. This is what I said. I said, this might cause some to immediately wonder about depth in the game and to claim that depth is lacking in New World, and, to a point, they would be right. The more I play this game and peel back the pages, the clearer it becomes they are building a game more in the mid lane. They are building a mid lane MMO, an approachable, playable, accessible MMO. So you're correct. You're not saying anything that's surprising to them. Like, I don't think the developers are like, oh no, people think that the weapon mastery system lacks depth and identity and a rigidity that makes people really value their decisions. We didn't think. No, that's by design. They did it. They're doing it on purpose. That's what they want. It's not. It's an MMO for people who have to ask what gear score is, right? If you like Squid Game, check out Alice in Borderland. Very similar stories. Is it on Netflix, Barrier? I love stuff like that. There's a movie called Would You Rather that's pretty good. That one, these are obviously not for faint of heart. They're kind of gruesome. Squid Game is violent for sure, and there is one like very brief adult scene for those of you that take my recommendations. So the way the game is set up now, anyone can be a pseudo tank, pseudo mage, pseudo dex build with any armor they want. Everything seems to just blend together. Here's the thing, though. Demetrius, do you know the time that it would take to do that? I think you're describing a problem that doesn't exist, right? If you take the time, and I think this is fair, if you take the time to max out a skill tree in enough weapons to just and armor, and you're swapping things out because you're like, well, today I want to be a tank and tomorrow I want to be a mage. You go, girl, do it. Why is that a problem? Do you know the time it would take to do that? It'd be no different than creating multiple characters, homie. Think about it. The time investment it would take right now to get a max level character who is got, like me, sword and shield and a healing staff. Yeah, I can kind of do both. And then I want to build a tank. It would take a long time for me to get everything needed to build the tank. It's almost synonymous with if I were just to click a create a new character button. Do you know what I'm saying? It feels strange to me that me and my buddy are both using Firestaff, for example. He's a tank in full heavy armor, basically playing the same class, and I'm in light armor and Firestaff. I don't understand how that's weird. Isn't that basically how most games work, right? Scheduling New World gameplay. What are you doing today? Dungeon prep? I've not really been putting details in the thumbnail or the title because I don't know. I don't know. You could put the dungeon name and dungeon prep in the description, I guess, if people are searching for it. We could try and get in there. It's what's the name of the dungeon? Amrine. Amrine. A-M-R-I-N-E. The Amrine dungeon for the heart gem. Yeah. There's no true class identity is my point. But you're okay. Here's what you're doing though. You're just stating something that they know is true. Is it bad and why? I want to hear an argument as to why it's bad. You are simply diagnosing the fact that there's no clear identity to classes. You can run a fire staff, light armor. He can run a fire staff and tank up. You need to tell me why that's bad. I haven't heard a reason that it's bad. I've simply heard statements that this is how it is, and I don't think those are inaccurate. I think what you're saying is accurate. I think it's by design. I don't think the developers are going to be surprised. I can't believe somebody said this about our game. They'd be like, what do you mean? We built it that way. That's how it's supposed to be. So you've diagnosed it. Now we need to know why it's not good. Because I've not. That's the part that I'm stuck on. Why is being stringent and rigid and keeping people in like a lane, like a build lane from get-go, why is that good as opposed to how they built it now? Golly frick, man. Well, hopefully today is not indicative of anything. Would you want to be stuck in one class when you can only use 3 spells, though? It's an Amazon basic MMO. Right. Michael says, I've never once played an MMO. Your coverage is making me want to try out New World. That's good. That's good to hear, man. Just because you have heavy armor on doesn't mean you're a tank. Well, if he's building into it. I think it's less rewarding, says Demetrius, to have this amount of flexibility in the game. When players can build any way they want, they lose the pride in being a sword and shield main, for example. But I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Do you know the amount of time it's going to take for me to get to where I've got my sword and shield thing all the way maxed out? I have put in a ton of time, and this is what my sword and shield skill tree looks like, right? This is what it looks like. I still have so many things I could unlock, all right? And then I could always respec into Defender and try it out. There's 20 levels, okay? I've been playing pretty consistently this week. I'm an 8 out of 20. Getting to level 20, I will feel a sense of pride about that. That took time. That's not quick and easy. 20? You know, I played for a few hours yesterday. Now, yes, these early levels I think happen a little bit quicker because this got to 5 out of 20 pretty quickly. I think the XP required in the earlier stages is lower. So when you're in like a tough area, it goes pretty quick. There's more efficient ways to level up weapon trees in the game that make the process much faster. Oh, so now we've come back to yesterday. That's like starting a character. That's like starting a new character and speed leveling. That's not the game's fault. You could have a game with classes where you're like, okay, now that I've got my sword and shield guy maxed out, I want to get a guy that's good with a bow. And you speed level a new character. It's not any different. There's ways to farm elite mobs for tons of weapon mastery. There I go, optimizing the fun out of the game again. You're not just optimizing the game if you're going and farming elite mobs with a new weapon to get the mastery to go quickly. You're playing the game against the grain. Like, that, the game isn't designed for you to do that. You need to farm gear in order to really take advantage of a weapon tree? Yeah, Eugene. Because weapons can come with really, really good complementary skill points and really good complementary like damage, and so like I can get a sword that like really, really helps stuff that I'm building into sword and shield, or that doesn't help it at all, right? Because like I think my sword right now isn't helping me that much. Yeah, it gets like 95 slash damage, right? And if you go to sword and shield, Is Slash an ability that you have to like lean into, or is Slash just a part of Whirling Blade? I can't remember. I thought Slash was something that I had to spec into. No, it's not. I thought there was stuff that if you spec'd into it, I had a sword that was like giving me more on one of my abilities. I forget which one it was. I can't remember. Slash is a damage type. Okay. But it also gets different skills. I'm sorry, like attribute points, like +4 to strength and +2 to intelligence. When I have it going into dexterity, like that's really, really helpful because that's like pushing a stat that I'm already pushing, right? So different weapons can do different things. Like my life staff adds 12 focus, okay? And focus is the thing down here with attributes. Focus right here is life staff. It scales with focus. So it's pushing me closer to the 50 points that I get more mana, mana regenerate and mana and fishing line tension. That's hilarious. So the more I level up focus, the better. So when I have an actual item that is adding to focus, like that's really, really good, you know, and it gets extra nature damage. And then there's an empty socket, you know, and these pants, they're blue. So they have dexterity, constitution, empty gem socket, corrupted ward, 0.35% damage absorption against the corrupted. So you definitely benefit from farming for when you farm for loot. Happy From Friday. What's good, Diaz? In my opinion, most times in MMOs, classes are just different looks and percentage differences in some passive abilities, nothing game changing. I talked about that earlier. I said a lot of times the classes are so indistinguishable, you know? When you run the Emrine dungeon, you'll get dope gear for basically every class archetype. Okay. You need to try Guild Wars 2. The weapon system is interesting. You can use the same weapon on another class and you get different skills. It's super fun to learn each weapon per class. You get faction gear too? Right. I like the faction gear. Then there is the identity and sense of accomplishment in your class. Why is that against the grain? I want to level as fast as possible because I've already mastered the foundations of the game. I want to get to the end game. Well, listen to what he was saying, though, Ashen. He was saying, well, there's no sense of identity because I can go from sword and shield, and then I can just switch to being a tank with a heavy hammer. Okay, that takes a long time. Well, no, it doesn't. If you go into this very specific area and farm elite mobs, you can level up the hammer really, really quickly. The frick? That's not a problem with the game. They didn't design it to be for you to do that. What? They didn't design it for you to do that. You're going against the grain of the game. What you're supposed to do is get a new weapon and grind it up and have a sense of pride and investment in that skill tree and in that build. And when you bypass that, you can't claim... Do you see what I'm saying? You're retroactively like going back and like, yeah, there's no identity. It was so easy. No, it wasn't easy. You found a shortcut. The game by design is not taking away a sense of pride and accomplishment. You are. I love Demetrius. He's a good dude. But he's the one doing it, not the game. The game's not doing that. When I turn SNTR on and it's more New World coverage, I feel like that Leo D meme when he points at the TV. Like my dude is deep diving coverage of a game. Picking it up tonight, almost solely due to you. Well, thank you, Brett. Okay, I get you. I missed that portion. I was pushing back against the idea of not leveling fast. No. I will never, ever tell a player not to take a fast pathway. That's on the developers, right? It's the developer's job to protect you from yourself. Water finds the path of least resistance. You are water. You're a gamer. You're going to push against the wall and find the weak points and be like, it's over here, guys. Right here. This is the weak spot. Whoosh, and everyone rushes to that spot and does the thing. right? But you don't get to turn around and say, oh, but there's no sense of identity accomplishment because you can just switch to another weapon type. Yeah, and it's meant to be something that takes a long time. Well, but not if you farm these elite mobs in this one specific spot, and it's really easy. The frick? They didn't do that. You did. I feel like most players at a certain point will take the shortcut to level their alternate weapons. That is true, Demetrius. And that is not an indictment of the system. If you make a second character in a game with classes, and you speed level that character, and your really high level buddies just rake you through the game, that's not an indictment of that game system. I couldn't turn around and be like, oh, look at this game with these classes. It's so easy. There's no sense of pride and identity. I can just make another class and speed level up to max level. There's no sense of identity or accomplishment here. What do you mean? I'm the one that did it. I'm the one. I'm the man. There's no mystery in this game. It'll all be guided out. Meanwhile, 10 YouTube tabs open on separate monitors while they play. As long as there are checks and balances for selecting certain weaponry and armor, then it's okay to have ability to change at any time. It's meant to take a while. I would not expect a wizard type to do well in heavy armor. Why? 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 Just because traditionally that hasn't worked? A wizard's supposed to wear a robe? A wizard's supposed to wear a bathrobe and get stabbed the minute he goes into the battlefield? If a wizard wants to wear heavy armor and spec into like a wizard, like, I don't know, a mage staff of destruction, who the frick cares? I don't know. If a warrior wants to be a glass cannon and have no defense but all strength and just go in and just absolutely level the playing field, but I mean he's glass cannon, he's gonna die really fast. That's their prerogative. That's their prerogative. Yeah, battle mage, paladin, yeah. What who cares? Like, that's the whole point. Wizards are bodily weak because they dedicate their time to study and not bodybuilding. Homie, you're acting like there couldn't be a wizard that said, I think I'll go down to the gym today. Like, that's the point. That's the beauty of having that level of freedom, is that, you want to do that? Cool, man. That's awesome. You want to have a really strong bow and then a crazy strong battle axe? Go for it, man. Do it. Ranged attack and then a crazy berserker hatchet. Go for it, man. Have a ball. That's the beauty of this system. That's basically a battle mage. You can run heavy armor, sword, and a fire staff for all the AoEs. You tank the damage while the dots tick. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to play. Hybrids are okay, but usually have a detriment when compared to a master. Yeah, you would. Do you want to show me how that... I can show you how that works in this game. So, right now, I went heavy on dexterity. What I probably should do is split between dexterity and strength, okay? And then I have a life staff down here, okay? Now, if I want strength, dexterity, and focus to all get equal treatment, so over here you can see, you can't, hang on, let me crop this down just a touch, like so. Okay? Above me, you can see there's my two weapons. There's my sword, and there is my life staff. Now, they benefit from these things. Now, if I went all sword and shield, I wouldn't have any points spent on focus. None of my gear, none of my armor, nothing. I don't want anything going to focus. Why? I don't need it. I need everything in strength and dexterity. As you're saying, there should be a detriment. There's your detriment. If I want to be good at sword and shield and my healing staff, I got to spread my skill points out. Meaning, I'm not a 10 out of 10 sword shield. I'm a 6 or 7 out of 10 sword and shield, and I'm like a 3 or a 4 healing. Like, you only have so many points to spend. So you're naturally going to either divide and have those skill points between two builds, or put it all into one. Now, a lot of people, this is what a lot of people are going to do. If you go strength dexterity, all strength dexterity, just nothing but strength and dexterity, you can go hatchet bow, hatchet musket, or sword shield musket, sword shield bow. That's a pretty nice combo. You're going to be friggin' strong, but then you're not going to have any magic, no healing, and constitution. Oh gosh, I have not put anything in constitution for my overall health. Yeah, I need to respec. My guy is a bit of a disaster. That's okay. That's okay. That's the beauty of being able to respec for free. I'm in agreement with you, just saying as long as the game does that. Right. And I'm showing you that it does. Did you see Christopher Judge say the delay of Ragnarok was because of him? Yeah, and he basically made all these people that were like, cross-generational support is holding the game. Shut up. Shut up. I do not want to bail if we can help it. No. I'm not. I know. We'll start fresh. I'm not doing that. This will be a nice short talk show. It'll have a thumbnail. It'll have a title. It could get velocity. I'm not doing that. I don't want to tack on. I'm not tacking on. We're fine. Judge is the man. Loved him in Stargate. I'm thinking about going with a rapier and a bow and then going raw dex with a little intelligence. Yeah, I talked about it yesterday. Yeah. The Christopher Judge thing. That's the classic RPG dilemma. Either be decent at a lot of things or go all in and be a master of one thing. Right, like if you respec to all healing because you're gonna play with the boys, you know, and you go all healing to support them in the battle, you know, then that's something that you would be able to do at that point in time. If not, you're gonna have that divided interest in your build. You're gonna have that sense of like, yeah, I'm a master of some. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a master of none. I'm a master of none. I'm a jack of all trades, you know. Or a jack of two trades or whatever. I really liked playing with Old Soul yesterday and healing him. Like, it felt cool, you know? I felt like it felt cool. It was like, this is something I can get behind. So, I like it. I do. The support role in New World looks really fun. Yeah. I like not feeling... I've experienced two things in RPGs, okay? I've experienced two things in RPGs over the years. Number one, early game paralysis. I don't know what to invest in. I don't know what any of this... I don't know what I'm going to like. You know? I don't know what I'm going to like. So I develop early game paralysis. And then that can lead to late game regret. I wish I would have picked a completely different... I wish I would have done that. I don't feel that in New World. There's no early game paralysis, and there's no late game regret. Why? Because I have the freedom. I have elasticity. There's movement in the game that gives me a sense of like, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna dive right in. You did that in Dark Souls? What are you referring to, Eugene? I think being a 5 out of 10 mage and a 5 out of 10 warrior isn't as rewarding as being forced to be a 10 out of 10 mage or warrior like in Final Fantasy. So you would take enjoyment in being forced to do it. Just do it. Don't you see? Just do it, Demetrius. Like, just be a 10 out of 10 mage. Get all your armor. Get everything. Everything set to be 10 out of 10. Not Dark Souls. Oh, in Death Stranding. Not using tools for a mission the game gave you for the mission. Oh, in Death Stranding. Oh, right, because of the early game paralysis. I'm like, oh, I might need this later. Right. Yeah. I was like, oh, I might need that later. Yeah, I'm going to save this. I can get across this water. This isn't that hard. And so I save it. I do that all the time in the early game. I save the potions. I save the ingredients. I save the food. I save it all. Because I'm like, I might need this later. You know. If I go sword, shield, and bow, any reason to put anything in strength? If you go sword, shield, and bow, as far as I know, the reason to go strength would be to get it up to where you get a 5% damage to melee weapon light attacks and a 10% mining speed. Dexterity gives you a 5% chance to critical hit and a 10% skinning speed. I think they both proportionately increase damage. I could be wrong. Because sword and shield, great axe, warhammer, hatchet, and spear are all on strength, but then sword and shield is also on dexterity. So I'm fairly certain you can invest in all dexterity, and that's always pushing your damage up on the sword, isn't it? Player freedom at the cost of depth and class identity. Yeah, I wouldn't say class identity. I would agree that there's the cost of depth, yes. But that's on purpose. It's by design, baby. It's by design. They want this game to be very approachable. That's what they want. What the heck? That was weird. I'm running sword, shield, and musket, but I'm going to switch to the rapier soon. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think you need to invest in strength if you don't want to. You can just go all dexterity. If you look at the character traits, the goal seems to be to get one, maybe more, up to 300 points via level up points and your gear. Once at 300, you get some pretty great bonuses. How are we bringing up class identity when there are no classes in the game? That's his point, David, is he's saying the lack of classes means that you don't have a sense of class identity. You don't have a sense of like, I am a this, right? And because of that, they feel that like the people that are thinking along the lines of Demetrius is it just doesn't feel that special, doesn't feel like I'm really investing in anything. And again, I think it's on purpose. I think they built something to be very approachable and accessible, and it's 100% by design. They are not attempting to have that sense of like early game paralysis of like, what class do you want to be? And you're like, I don't know. And you pick. Right now, there's 11 weapons that are essentially each of them their own class. So imagine booting up this game and reading through, let's just say 10 descriptions of all these different classes. A class that excels at sword and shield, a class that excels with a bow, a class that excels with a mage, like with a staff. Well, I don't know. I've not played the game yet. I don't know if I know that I usually enjoy magic, but the magic builds in this game might suck. I don't. The bows in this game might be terrible. I don't know. I've not played yet. So early game paralysis. Well, and then what do most people do? I'll just sword and shield. You know. I'm having a ton of fun building my character in New World, regardless of my opinions. Love the back and forth. I mean, I live for the back and forth. I mean, homie, that's what this show is about. I love people coming in and saying, no, I don't think so, Lono. Like, that makes for a great show. If you guys are new, this is what we do. It's respectful. It's safe for work. But we have debates, discussions. I mean, we dice it up, man. We dice it up. We're diving into this game and really chopping up all of its pieces. Shaka Zulu says, to be honest, the weapons are classes. Like in ESO, I can only be a Dragon Knight. In here, I can be a Mage, Archer, Spearman, etc. And as long as I level something, I can spec it. Seems good to me. That's essentially what I opened today's show with. I opened the show with that opinion. That we don't need all that. We don't need classes. We have classes. They're rooted in the weapons. The last thing you want is someone choosing a class, weapon, path, etc., finding out after 20 hours they don't like it, and then feeling like they have to start all the way over. Right. Right. And that's something this game prevents. Now, you would be starting over a little bit. Like, if right now I was like, I really don't like Sword and Shield, I think the hatchet looks awesome. It would be a task to get the hatchet up to level 8, because that's what my Sword and Shield is. It would be a bit of a task, but it wouldn't be as daunting as picking a brand new character and having to go through all that early game crap. I could be like, well, I'll go to some areas where the enemies are tougher. That'll level the weapon quicker. I'm a little bit more stout. I'm a little bit healthier. I'll be okay. My weapon's not all that strong, but it'll get the job done, and I'm not starting over fresh off the boat. You know? You don't hear people complaining about RuneScape's class system? So is an argument from silence a strong argument? What point are you making? So that doesn't mean anything. How many people don't play RuneScape because they don't like the class system, or they get dug into the class system and then they walk away? I'm not saying that other systems aren't good in their own right. I'm saying this system has its pros. It does. It has its cons. There's pros and cons. There's pros and cons. I already voiced some of my concerns about this system. It makes it hard to get excited about loot dropping. I'm Sword and Shield. I'm Sword, Shield, and I'm Staff. And if I get another axe, I get another great axe, or another bow, I'm gonna freaking break something, right? Well, that's just the nature of loot. That's not actually a flaw, but that is one of the cons of the system. Is, you know, if you spec into a certain type of armor, you'll feel that in certain games like ESO and Skyrim. You're like, well, I've spec'd into medium armor, so when heavy armor drops, it's no good for you. But if a stronger weapon drops, you generally could just pick it up and start using it. Like, well, this is stronger. Now it's like, well... Now in Skyrim and ESO, if like you spec'd into like two-handed and you get a dual wield and then you pick up a two-handed weapon, yeah, that's worthless to you. But it didn't. This feels a little bit more stringent. It's like I need a particular type of sword, and if I get a rapier, can't use it. If I get a hatchet, can't use it. I mean, I can, but it's got nothing behind it. It's got no skills, no abilities, nothing unlocked. I have to accept the good with the bad, right? You have a spot we can rewatch your previous Q&A? Q&A, excuse me. Oh, big stretch there. Q&A is not a segment anymore. It just happens throughout the show. So all of my VODs are watchable. You can rewatch all of them. You can rewatch all of them. Okay. Share. Copy. All right. Whoops. Like, retweet. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I'm getting the link ready for you guys. ESO does kind of have classes, though. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the new world system. The facts of life, that's right. You can also craft what you need. I've only scratched the surface, but I can't wait to craft all sorts of stuff and then sell that stuff too. Yeah, I should probably just be crafting right now. I probably have plenty of resources to just craft some swords and shields and stuff. I like the branding, naming. This is an interactive video podcast. I don't think we've changed the header over here. I think it just says Variety Live Gaming or something. Yeah, live variety gameplay showcasing a wide array of new games. Yeah, so we've not necessarily like given this a once over yet. We'll do that. It's not a big deal. Okay. Wheezy's got something for me. I've been told the studio behind Metal Gear Solid Project is Virtuous, who recently ported Dark Souls and The Outer Worlds to Switch and contributed to blockbusters such as Battlefield 1 and Horizon Zero Dawn. They're set to revive Metal Gear Solid. Okay. Filthy Dex Scum, strength is the true way. Thank you, Ashen, for the $2. Is the ticker at the top cut off for y'all? What do you mean cut off? Like, did you zoom in, Zubair? It shouldn't be cut off. I mean, it obviously runs into the picture, but that's been doing that since we launched it. I made new ones, just haven't had time to change them. Oh, it's not a big deal. The average YouTube viewer doesn't come to the homepage. We know that. We know that. Excuse me. Let's see here. All right. Let me get you guys. Did I copy the link? I think this is it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. We've got a full day still. We've got a full day. This talk show is kind of just getting going. So if you were new this morning and you enjoyed what we were doing here, hit subscribe and the bell button. Make sure your bell button's set to all, so that way you get notified. Monday through Friday, we're down here in the mornings having these discussions, and then in the afternoons we do the gameplay. So we're gonna do gameplay today. We're gonna do New World gameplay here on this channel in about an hour or so. We're also going to do some From Friday, okay? We also have another channel where we premiere gameplay every day of new games, as well as I do streams on Friday night with my man Hilly, and we have some drinks. We'll be doing a fishing stream tonight. But right now, we have something very special. I'm going to go and be on a podcast about New World with Ginger Prime, and the link is in the chat. It would be amazing. There's 300 people here. It would be amazing if most of you went. A lot of you are very cross-armed when it comes time to go to a new stream or a new video. When we premiere videos on SNTR Presents, or I go over to a podcast and like 50 folks out of 250, only 50 move, come on, man. Shuffle your feet, stretch your legs, click the button, come with us. It's going to be a good show. It supports him. It supports his podcast. It supports all the various things that we're doing. If you like these talk shows in the morning, I need some of y'all to start to expand your horizons a little bit, Click a button every once in a while. Some of y'all love lurking and lingering and watching the morning show, but I'm like, hey, can you click this button and go to this other video? And you're like, no. Give it a try, all right? There's a link in chat. There's a link pinned at the top of the chat, and this should be a good podcast, okay? I'll see you guys over there, all right?